The chapter opens with Teo, the eldest daughter of Ole Kulet, watching what is going on in Nakuru town through the window of what used to be their bedroom. Since their flat was located in the third floor of the building, she had a very good view of the town. She also noticed her father gesticulating violently at the loaders who are loading items into the lorries at the courtyard. The family is preparing to relocate to their rural town following Ole Kulet's retrenchment. Even though she cannot hear what her father is saying, she sympathizes with the loaders, knowing too well the sting of her father's tongue. It reminds her of how she had recently battled with him when he denied her a golden chance to attend an extravaganza in Mombasa. She is engulfed in thoughts that she does not notice her younger sister Rizian come in. The two stand side by side in the empty room watching the town for the last time. Rizian questions her sister about what life would be like once they moved to Nazila. The two engage in a conversation that clearly brings out the fear within them. They are worried that their father's shop, which he intends to open, might not become successful. At this point, Rizian confides in Teo that she doesn't want to work in that shop, but rather she would want to join Egerton University to pursue veterinary science and thus become Dr. Rizian Kulet. In reply, Teo says that she too would love to join the university. Rizian pleads with her to try convincing their father to allow them to come back to fulfill this dream. Their mother calls them, asking Teo to go help her pack while sending Rizian to check what was happening. Before they go out, they notice their father approaching, and thus the two quickly join their mother to avoid his sharp tongue. He asks whether they are ready to go, and as the four of them silently stood there for a moment, the reality that they are about to leave this house that they had occupied for so many years hit them hard. Mama Milanoy's prayer is for journey mercies. They set off for the journey in a hired minibus with the two lorries ferrying their belongings snaking ahead of them. Mama Milanoy, who was initially a bit scared about the relocation, is now enthusiastic and sees the relocation as a chance for her family to share the good fortune enjoyed by those in the rural area and as an opportunity to marry of their daughters to sons from reputable families. She is, however, worried about the fact that her daughters are uncircumcised. Her women friends who had visited from Nazaland had described them contemptuously as Intoi Nemengarana, a word that now carries a lot of weight now. On his part, Ole Kulet reminisces about his life. How he had succeeded to become a commercial manager of Agribix Ltd from being a clerk, his misfortune of having two girls when we had hoped to have three boys, the acceptance and appreciation of his younger brother Simiran, as the head of the Kulets, and how nobody liked him since childhood. He, however, appreciates that he had a good wife whom he met when she was hardly 18. How he met and fell in love with Jane Milanoy, the woman with whom he is still so obsessed, 22 years later. He also thinks about his daughters. Teo, his eldest, was his pride. Her birth 20 years ago filled him with joy. Unlike her sister Teo, Rizian's birth brought bitterness and hatred in his heart, since all along had hoped to get a baby boy. And the hatred that he felt for her from that moment still existed in him, and he looked forward to a chance to dispose her off. Just a few kilometers to Nazila, one of the lorries develop a mechanical problem. As it is being repaired, Ole Kulet fusses around the vehicles, cursing and muttering expletives under his breath, while Mama Milanoy and the daughters stand next to the vehicle, huddled stoically together and saying very little. Soon the vehicle is repaired and the journey continues. They arrive at Uncle Simiran's home, where they are jubilantly received by relatives. The girls receive hugs and kisses and their heads touched by the relatives, some of whom they had never met before. They soon sat around a fire where they enjoyed pieces of roasted meat. The chapter ends with Simiran, who is a respected elder, fearing for his brother Ole Kulet, especially due to the Intoi Nemengalana status of his daughters.